Hi, Melanie.
Hi!
It's so special to have you here with us, with Brazilian fans and Brazilian LGBTQ community. Thank you so much. Since the beginning of your career, you have supported our community, but through all these years, do you think that things are getting better about diversity? What has changed through all this time?
Oh, well, we are living in quite difficult times, aren't we, in many ways? Obviously, the whole world is affected by this global pandemic. I know there are countries and communities where more work needs to be done. So I think this is something that we will always have to work towards improving.
For sure, together, always. We
Yes.
learned from you to have strength. We learned from you to have confidence, self confidence. But did you learn anything from our community?
So much. I always have felt so grateful to the Pride community. When I toured last year, I performed at Pride World, my absolute favourite being Sao Paulo, of course, on that
Oh,
wonderful float with my gorgeous drag queens. I learnt so much of how it can be a struggle and the challenges young people from this community can face growing up, just
mhm.
wanting to be themselves, wanting to feel like they are safe in their own skin and their own identity. And it made me feel very lucky, very grateful, and it made me feel more self acceptance. The strength I found in these people made me feel stronger in myself. So I really appreciate that and never expected to feel these feelings.
One of the prides, as you said, was here in São Paulo, the biggest pride in the world, organized by the young Associação Parada do Orgulho LGBT de São Paulo. You were singing to millions of people, millions of fans. Do you still get nervous at this kind of moment?
I get nervous for everything. I get nervous if I'm doing a tiny little show in a club, if I'm playing a stadium, if I'm on a float going down Paulista Avenue. I get nervous because I care. That's all part of the adrenaline and the excitement. So
Mhm.
I hope I never stop getting nervous. It's very much part of what I do.
And as you said, last year you did the Pride tour, have been to many prides. How was that experience about the different countries? How do you feel about the different audiences you have?
It's such great experiences. I've toured the world as a Spice Girl, as a solo artist, and each country has a personality. You know, each audience can you can sense the culture of a place. But with Pride, it's like a global community. And although there are subtle differences everywhere you go, there's a
Mhm.
similar feeling of solidarity and of fun and of like living life to its absolute maximum. And that is something which is shared throughout the world in this community. And it's a wonderful thing to witness.
And it's amazing how you have always inspired all of us, being a Spice Girl, being the sporty Spice. And I know you have a daughter. If she wanted to have a girl band, like Spice Girls, maybe the best girl band in the world, what advice would you give her? What advice would you give to someone who is trying to be an artist?
You have to be who you are, you know? You can't be like the Spice Girls because there's only one Spice Girls, you know, and what we celebrate and, you know, what we want to show is individuality, is, you know, the strength in individuality. And when you come together, always follow your passion and follow your heart. And that's all we can do in this life, isn't it?
When you performed your song High Heels, you brought a lot of drag queens, and I'd like to know what do you like most about us, about drag queens?
I like most how you can't judge a drag queen by its cover. Because before I knew drag queens personally, I had this kind of view of queens of being fierce and scary and divas and all these things. But most drag queens have a very soft, sensitive inside.
I
And
am.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course. We all are. We're human.
I think you should know some of our drag queens here in Brazil. You're gonna love our culture. Have you talked to another drags last time you came?
I did. I performed with a beautiful Brazilian drag queen, Gloria Groove. We performed together when I was
Amazing!
there. Yeah. Oh, and I loved her. She was so much fun, and her music's incredible, and she's a great dancer. Yeah, that was lovely. I really enjoyed that.
In your song High Heels, this song fits in perfectly right now because we are all dancing at home. How's your life been in this quarantine, in this isolation? Have you been dancing at home with your high heels in your hand?
Well, I haven't been wearing many high heels. It's been all comfort throughout. But I've been very busy. I've had new music that I've been releasing, so I've been staying connected to my fans with live Q&As and performances. Very busy also being a mum and homeschooling and all those things. But I've been having a lot of fun.
And talking about your new songs, in your music Who I Am, it seems like you finally know who you are. What is the hardest part to find who you are? And what advice would you give for us that are trying to find who we are?
I think we need to be kinder to ourselves. I feel the hardest thing to do is stop being so critical of ourselves. I spent many years feeling like I wanted to change certain aspects of myself. And with who I am, I realised that I need to embrace all parts of myself because there may be bits I don't like that much, but it's me and I can modify certain things. But you know what? I've celebrated my successes, but what I really need to celebrate is the challenges that I've overcome. And I think often as people, we don't really give ourselves credit for the things that we have got through in life, and I think a lot of the LGBTQ plus community, that would resonate with them a lot. I know there are big challenges as a young person in that community, so I think we need to be much kinder to ourselves. We need to love ourselves and we need to celebrate ourselves, and that goes for everybody.
Definitely. A few weeks ago, you released Blame It On Me. The video was amazing, was so fun to have you on a video game. I love video games. And was filming that video as fun as it looks?
It really was. It was great fun. And it was very much inspired by like 80s and 90s arcade games like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat.
In the
Yes.
video, we see several versions of your history. Would you like to have done something different? Would you like to change any of it? Or would you like to any of it have last longer?
Yeah, absolutely. I think time passes so quickly. And sometimes in life, you have these incredible experiences and you feel like you don't know whether you really appreciated it fully at the time. So it would be wonderful to have time travel and to travel back to those times and really take it all in. Of course, there are things I would do differently, maybe some different hairstyles and some different outfits. But everything you do, everything you do brings you to where you are. And I found myself in a very special place, and I feel very grateful. And even the most difficult times in my life have taught me so much. So I'm proud. I'm proud of everything I've done.
Melanie, I'd like to thank you for being here with us through all this time, through all your career. What would you say to our community here in Brazil?
I would say I love you and I miss you, and I hope you are all safe and well, and we can all think about the party we're gonna have at the end of this. And let's support each other through this time.
Thank you so much, Melanie.
Thank you. I'll see you soon. Obrigada.
Bye.